Are you familiar with the Green Lantern? The DC Comics character who has basically a magic ring that can create anything the user puts their mind to, as long as they have the willpower to do so. Real life ain't like that. Your willpower cannot power you through life. And the reason for this is that your environment always wins. One of my favorite examples of this is Berardi's first law, which states something like, if you have a food in your home, eventually it will be eaten. Which means if you're someone who wants to lose weight and you keep buying Oreos, for example, and you keep them in your home, and you think, I'll just leave them there. Nothing's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Eventually. And the opposite is true too. If you keep something better in your home, like, I don't know, apples or something, eventually you're just going to eat that instead. Now, there are exceptions to these rules. Of course, you can buy junk food, leave it in the back of the pantry and forget about it. You can buy healthy food and let it rot, for sure. Think about this. If your goal is to lose weight, but you have stacks of Oreos in your home, you're going to need a lot of willpower to not go for them. And eventually, with all those Oreos staring you in the face, it might not end well. You're going to have to exhaust a lot of willpower, and it's going to be tiring. Whereas, if you really want to lose weight and you keep a bunch of apples in your home, if you have a little bit of willpower, you can make yourself eat some apples. If you have no willpower, you don't need any at all to just not eat apples, but you also won't eat Oreos. So in that case, the environment really helps you out. This doesn't even happen just at home. It's basically everywhere. Let's say you're at the office. They bring in the fucking donuts, which you can't stop. Let's be real. But they put them in the back of the office. You got to walk to that table over there. Now, you can walk around the office, walk to that table, stare at the donuts, use up all your willpower, not eat any. Or you can shift your environment a bit and just not walk over there. Walk to the fucking water cooler, water fountain, or stay in your little cubicle. Don't go over there. Your environment will then support you in not eating shit. Did they put the donuts on the edge of the table that's right next to you? That sucks. Take it, move it to the other side of the table, and you just save yourself some willpower. You work from home? If you're trying to lose weight, sitting down all day is not ideal. Just in general for health, being super sedentary is not great. But if you're home, what can you do? Well, you're at home. You can just get up whenever the hell you want. So I'd recommend that. You're in the place of comfort, so get up and be comfortable. Or even better, so that you don't encourage your body turning into a blob, buy a standing desk. What do you think I'm using right now to record this? I'm not sitting down. I'm standing up. In fact, back in March, I bought a costume for a cosplay, Kratos God of War, right? And I put that costume on my computer chair. And because it was, all these belts and shit, I'm like, I don't want to move this or touch this until I have to put it on. So I just left it there in the chair. And I'm thinking, all right, well, I can't sit, so let me just put up my standing desk and actually use it as a standing desk. And that was the case for months after the event. I'm thinking, I don't really feel like sitting down, because when I do, I notice I'm like just turning into a fucking blob. So me being lazy that one time helped me be not lazy, basically every time I use my computer. So instead of sitting down and letting my spine fuck up, me just hunching and slouching over, I have to stand whenever I use my computer, and that's awesome. It helps my posture, and it discourages me from being super lazy while I'm on the computer. I set up my environment to set me up for success. Another example, Planet Fitness. I have not been there in a while, but I hear that they give you Tootsie Rolls, pizza, stuff like that. So that's an example of diabolical sabotage, because that's fucked up. You go to this environment to, better yourself, and then on the way out, they're like, hey, you want to fuck it up a bit? That's not cool. So what I'd recommend is, if you go to a gym like that doesn't set you up for success, go to another one if you can, or work out at home. That way you can set things up that are set things up in a way that are actually helpful for you. Let's get into some myth busting. One of the biggest myths is that strong people have unlimited willpower. What I found is that that's not the case. I had a friend send me a video from Layla Hormozi, who's Alex Hormozi's wife, if you don't know either of them. Very successful business people. And the philosophy she was talking about was basically what I think. In that, yeah, I mean, willpower and discipline are super helpful, but what is most helpful is just creating systems and environments that make it easy for you to actually do the things. We only have so much willpower. So instead of getting all this willpower, get my fucking gym clothes, go to the car, what I do instead is make it easy for myself. I leave a gym bag in my car full of water, extra clothes, with a lock on it so it doesn't matter which gym I go to. That bag has everything. And even better, in the trunk of my car, I have multiple sets of gym clothes. So then if it were ever to come to be the case where, oh, look, the gym clothes in my gym bag are fucking dirty, I got to exhaust willpower to go back up, find other clothes, come back down. No, go to the trunk. It's already there. Which reminds me, I need to wash those pretty soon. I don't think clothes being inside of a car for that long is very good. But anyway, it's there to help me out. Another myth. Just try harder and you'll succeed. I mean, there's a little bit of truth to that myth, but willpower, again, is finite. Once you've kind of used it up for the day, most people, they kind of bounce back into their usual habits. Now, over time, you can make sure those usual habits are pretty good. Like the systems I just mentioned. But if you're not there yet and your habits are not great, then once your willpower's up, kind of fucked. So willpower's not the be all end all. Another myth, and this is one that I might take a little issue with, but I mostly agree with. It is individual responsibility trumps everything. Yes and no, kind of. Like at the end of the day, it's up to you to make this change, to keep things going in the way that you want it to be going. But let's say you're 14 years old, your mother doesn't give a fucking shit about your weight loss, and she just keeps feeding you macaroni and cheese. And they don't let you go outside, no after school sports stuff. I mean, yeah, you can just eat less of that and then work out in your room or something, but the environment's working against that person in particular pretty badly. So it's going to be tougher for them. The willpower it may not be enough. At the end of the day, it is up to the person, but sometimes it's fucking hard. Sometimes it's not reasonable or feasible. So there's that. And sidebar, let's talk about just more than physical health here. Set up your environment to not waste your time is also pretty good. Let's say you have a big ass, colorful, nice phone, such as, the normal Samsung, Android phones, whatever, right? Wow, it's a big ass screen. There's so many colors. There's so many things to do. That's awesome. Now, if you keep a device like this in your pocket, it's very probable you're going to use it more than you need to. So one thing you could do to change the environment is, firstly, the immediate environment is you can change the coloring so it's black and white, so that the phone that's near you is not as interesting. Secondly, what you can do is, when you're sleeping, keep the phone in a different room or way away from the bed. If you keep your phone within arm's reach of your bed, you are fucking up hard. But I need it for an alarm. I don't give a shit. Keep the phone over there. It's loud enough, I promise you. If you need the phone next to you all the time for whatever reason, maybe you can think about getting another phone, maybe something that's smaller or less interesting. I might need to go back to this Jelly Star for a bit. I'm spending a little too much time on the other one. That shit is it's too useful, so to speak. Like, I'm a pretty disciplined person, and I know a lot of you listeners are too. But we have, like I said, limited willpower. We cannot compete with those fucking nerds doing all this research in Silicon Valley. They know how to design electronics to make you be like, let me check this out, spend a little time here and then here and there. You can only compete with that for so fucking long. before you end up wasting even an extra fucking half hour per day. It's just likely going to happen. That's human nature, which they have studied quite a lot. Set app timers, app blocks on your phone. I recommend getting the app called App Block on Android. No idea if it's on iPhone. It lets you not only block apps, but block websites too. I think you might have to pay for that one, but it's fucking worth it. You know, time is money. So set yourself up in that way. That's why normally I don't touch my phone for the first few hours of the day unless there's something crazy happening that I need to check for work or whatever, or some event or schedule or something. Normally the first couple hours I just don't touch it because I want to make sure I get other stuff done. I know if I open that up and be like, oh look, you know, this email's here, this person texted me, blah blah. Okay, well now I'm like 45 minutes later and it's like, fuck, I didn't fucking start. Whoops. So I create my environment in a way that is beneficial to me. Same with food. A lot of snacks that would I go crazy for, I just don't get them. There's a farmer's market near my home, and there's this guy who sells pita chips, baba ganoush, hummus. You may think I'm bullshitting, but the pita chips are so fucking good that I have to buy less of them now. Because if I have too many of them in here, that's all I'm going to eat. It used to be the case where I would buy like 3 boxes of it on a Thursday, and then they'd be gone by Sunday. I'm like, what the fuck? Hey, this can't happen. And it's not like I was going way over my calorie budget or something, but it's like so many of the calories of my day were just for fucking pita chips. Like, where's the protein, you know? So literally when I go there, as much as it pains me, I'm like, okay, hey, just one box, one small baba ganoush. And then I, you know, push that to last till, you know, the weekend or Monday or something, a few days. It's tough, but you know what? I know if I have all that shit in my environment, it's not going to be great. So I recreate my environment so I don't have to use willpower to just not eat shit that I love. I just don't have it here, or I get less of it. Some of you might not have those kryptonite snacks, like pita chips, or it might be like Oreos, like I like to say, or something even worse. Those you should do a hard swap, honestly. Or, I mean, cutting is hard. I wouldn't cut things out of your environment so quickly. I would make swaps instead, because cutting it out, you're reducing. Your brain doesn't like that too much. So I would make some swaps instead. I'm thankful that my worst snack is fucking pita chips. All right, let's get into some stats here. Studies show that willpower operates kind of like a muscle that gets tired. After using your self-control and willpower quite a lot, people perform like 25% worse on later self-control tasks. Which means if you blow all your willpower early in the day, the rest of your day might be kind of fucked, which is kind of interesting. This stat is quite known and public, but 40 to 65% of gym memberships are abandoned within the first 6 months. Because despite people's willpower to go, they didn't have the systems or discipline in place to actually go. Maybe they chose a gym that's so awesome, but it kind of takes, 58 minutes to get to. You need a lot of willpower to spend 2 hours on top of your gym time to go to. That's too much. I recommend this. Even if the gym kind of sucks, pick the one that's much closer. If there's like a half-hour difference between the gyms, pick the one that kind of sucks because you'll actually go. And by kind of sucks, I mean it has the essentials, not like it's just a floor or something. Like a fucking hotel gym. Well, that is better than nothing, but hotel gyms are fucking sad, man. So living next to fast food areas increases the obesity risk by about 15%, because if they're your environment, they're in your peripheral vision, you see them all the time, you'll be thinking about it more. That's how advertisements work. You know about Coca-Cola, right? Of course you do. They advertise all the time. And sometimes you may be thinking, why the hell do they advertise so much? Yeah, obviously I know about them. Think about it backwards. Obviously you know about them because they advertise all the time. Same thing with your environment. You see KFC every fucking day and you're like, well, this day, the crispy chicken seems pretty good. Maybe I'll try it out. Do they sell crispy chicken there? I don't know if that's just fried chicken by default. I've not been to KFC in like, I don't know how many years. It might legitimately be like 20 years or 15 years. I don't know. I have eaten Popeyes twice or three times in the last, like 5 years ago during COVID or whatever. Holy fuck, that's good. That, like, you can taste how much it's killing you as you're eating it, but fucking hell, Popeyes is good. Don't recommend. I do not recommend it. Unless you're on your deathbed, I guess. Anyway, if you live closer to supermarkets or fresh produce or something, your obesity risk goes down by 10%. So you can live near Whole Foods and your obesity goes down by 10%, and your disposable income goes down by 60%. According to this, habit formation takes an average of 66 days. I personally heard, at least with my reading, that it's about 6 months to maintain a habit, which is probably somewhere in between, depends on the person, right? I mean, after the 6 months, it's definitely a habit. But 2 months, maybe, it depends. But habit formation takes an average of 66 days, but people with stronger environmental cues, and if your environment helps you out, form habits 40% faster. So if you make things work for you in a better way, makes things easier. Environmental cues trigger behavior changes about 23% more effectively than just willpower saying, I'm going to do this, conscious, action. Which means, of course, action helps, right? But if your environment is already set up to make it easy for you, then it's a lot easier for you. So here's some stuff you can do to improve the environment rather than just wasting all your willpower. If you must buy junk food for whatever reason, put it all the way in the back of the pantry, because if you have to dig for it, you might not go for it, right? And the good stuff you want to start eating, put it right in your face. Even if the first time you look at it, you don't go for it, you're going to keep looking at it. So you're probably going to touch it at some point. You can keep your gym clothes as well in your car, like I was saying. You can also keep it very easily accessible to you. I have a little space in my closet right on the left side for the gym clothes. So I can grab a gym shirt, grab gym shorts in their own little section up there. And then I go. If I have to dig for stuff, then it's going to be like, ugh, I have to use up willpower. I don't want to use up willpower. I need to save that for other shit. And like I was saying, you should get a standing desk because, when people say, oh yeah, you should get up to walk around every 15 minutes. Nobody fucking does that. Let's be real. You should, right? But no one does that. So if you have a standing desk, naturally you're gonna, lean over, walk away. It's much easier because you don't have to stand up. You're already standing up. So you can pace around the room much more easily if you want to. It's just far, far more effective to set up your environment in a way where you're just standing rather than, hey, push back, stand up, walk outside of your cubicle, blah, blah. No, you're already standing up. Now, I don't know if you can get a standing desk in your office. That'd be cool. But if you're at home, you have that option. And I don't have an office. This is my fucking room. So anywhere you have a table, consider a standing desk, maybe. It'd be cool, like you put a standing desk in your kitchen so you can eat standing up too, like that. That's actually a pretty decent idea. If I were single, I would do that, but I have a girlfriend, so she's gonna be like, that would be ugly as hell. We're not having that in the kitchen. All right, well. Maybe if I got a wooden one, those nice bamboo standing desks, but I'm not paying like hundreds just to eat standing up. So, but it's an idea. Anyway, yeah, just remove things that make it harder for you to do stuff. Set up your environment so it's really, really, really easy. And remove things that make it challenging for you. You have a book you want to read? Stop putting it under the stack of other fucking books. Put it right on top. Put it next to your bed. Put it on your table. You want to go to the gym first thing in the morning? Put your fucking gym bag, hang it on your doorknob. So that's what you see when you're about to leave your home. Oh, yeah, I know where I need to go first. You buy some, fruit. Put it right in the fridge at the top. Well, I mean, there's like a part at the bottom for the fruit, but for other foods, I mean, you can still put it. You can put food wherever you want in the fridge. Put the fruit right on the top where you'll see it. Right in front. So you'll actually eat it. Basically, guys, make it easy. Don't exhaust your willpower. You need that shit for other things. And, some of these things you will use willpower for, but you have a limited amount. So don't blow it all, with stupid shit. Just trying to basically overcome the environment being shitty. Just make it easier. Please. Or you're not going to make it. Hey, leave a comment. Do you have a standing desk? I wonder how many people have that because they seem fucking awesome. They do cost a bit though, but good investment. I'm not going to lie. Leave a comment if you have a standing desk or if you slouch all day like a fucking gremlin. All right, see you next time.